Mhm.
All right. Welcome, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our Dhamma friends from around the world. Today, Bante Sumita is going to start on the Sallekha Sutta or self-effacement, which is from the Majjhima Nikaya, and it's the eighth sutta. I would now like to invite Bante to open the proceedings and start the sutta study class. Thank you.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Sutta study series. And today we are going to start a new Sutta under this Sutta study series. So far, we have discussed 7 Majjhima Nikaya suttas in full detail, and today's sutta will be also pretty interesting to start with. And I would like to take the discussion with you in due course, and let us also have um, more understanding, more realization about the Dhamma. And this sutta will also give you much idea about Sallekha or self-effacement. Um, okay, so this is the translation by Bhikkhu Bodhi, and there is also in Access to Insight, Bhikkhu Bodhi translation, and Sutta Center's translation of Bhikkhu Sujato. And with that, we will also have more discussion about the sutta. So, if we take the summary of the sutta, um, Monica, would you like to go ahead and read this?
Sure. Uh, this sutta is very interesting because it makes a distinction between peaceful meditation, or I suppose the jhanic levels that one achieves, and real, authentic spiritual practice. So, what the Buddha is saying is that just attaining the jhanas is not effacement. And then just to take a step back, the meaning of the word self-effacement, which is a translation of Sallekha, self-effacement means the wearing away of conceit or mana. When the Buddha was also asked about the doctrines concerning the self and the world, he listed 44 aspects which he described and explained as what we should avoid in order to eradicate conceit. And the key points of the sutta are one, how to incline our mind or attune our mind towards wholesome states, the 44 things we should avoid, how to observe the precepts and the Noble Eightfold Path. And it shows how these two aspects help us to counteract those 44 things, the wholesome actions that lead to nibbana, and how to extinguish defilements. And that's all. Thank you, Bante. So Bante will now explain the sutta in detail. Bante, we have taken a quick break.
Can you see it in the YouTube? So in the Sallekha Sutta, we already discussed um, about the summary of the sutta, and also this is Majjhima Nikaya, um, number 8, self-effacement. In this sutta, we will discuss about, um, especially we will discuss about the jhanic practices, and then 44 things to avoid, and also observing precepts and noble eightfold path and wholesome actions, and eventually extinguish defilements. That will be a very interesting sutta in that case. So this sutta, according to the sutta, we have um, uh, the background of the sutta. Accordingly, it says that it was preached when the Buddha was dwelling at the Savatthi Jetavana monastery. Evaṃ me sutaṃ ekaṃ samayaṃ bhagavā savatthyaṃ viharati jetavane anatha pindikassa ārāmi athako ayasma mahachundo sayanha samayang patisallana vuddhito yena bhagavate nupasankami upasankamitva bhagavantang abhivadetva ekamantang nisidi ekamantang nisinno ko ayasma mahachundo bhagavantang etadavocha. So here we can see that the Blessed One was dwelling at the Savatthi Jetavana monastery, and that time Venerable Mahachunda visited the Buddha. If you know that Venerable Mahachunda also is very famous for coming and seeing the Buddha when the Buddha was sick one time, and he went to see the Buddha, and then Buddha asked him, when after having respected to the Buddha, um, Venerable Mahachunda was sitting by the side of the Buddha, and then the Buddha asked him to preach the 7 Bojjhangas. So Chunda Thera Bojjhanga is so famous among the Buddhist people, Buddhist community. And after that, after the Venerable Mahachunda was preaching the 7 factors of enlightenment, Satta Bojjhanga, it is said that the Buddha recovered from his illness. And therefore, the 3 Bojjhanga suttas, the Maha Kassapa Thera Bojjhanga, Maha Moggallana Thera Bojjhanga, and Maha Chunda Thera Bojjhanga have become very popular and we, the Buddhist community, preach those suttas, recite those suttas whenever somebody is sick. And so I just want to mention the reference of Venerable Mahachunda is not new. So again here, Venerable Mahachunda came to the Buddha, paid respect to him, and then asked him, Ya ima bhante aneka vihita ditthiyo loke uppajjanti. Bhante, the Blessed One, um, uh, there are aneka vihita ditthiyo, there are many different views, loke uppajjanti, in the world. Uppajjati means to appear, uh, be born. So attavada patisangyuttava, lokavada patisangyuttava. So there are two ways. One, attavada patisangyutta, that arise in the world, that one is doctrine of the self, attavada. It's about soul or self. And then lokavada patisangyutta means loka means the world. So the uh, other view is about the cosmos or the universe or the world. Evañ etesang ditthīnaṃ pahānaṃ hoti. Evañ etesang ditthīnaṃ patinissaggo hotiti. So he's asking, how does a mendicant or a practitioner, when he is focusing on the starting point and give up and let go of these views, there can be like, it is very difficult if someone has these views about um, the atma vada or attavada, or about the soul, and it is very difficult to get rid of these views, uh, and also like this can be dogmatic views. It's really difficult. So he's asking a good question, posing a good question right away, and from the very beginning of the sutta, it seems like a very serious discussion. How does a mendicant who is focusing on the starting point give up and let go of these views? Ya ima chunda aneka vihita ditthiyo loke upajjanti attavada patisangyuttava lokavada patisangyuttava yattha cheta ditthiyo upajjanti yattha cha anusanti yattha cha samudacharanti tang netang mama neso hamasmi nameso attati eva metang yatha bhutang sammapanya pasato eva mete sang ditthinang pahanang hoti eva mete sang ditthinang patinissaggo hoti. So netang mama neso hamasmi nameso me atta, these are very famous quotes from the suttas. So this one is the key here, kind of key sentence here in this paragraph. So Chunda, there are many different views that arise in the world connected with doctrines of the self or with doctrine of the cosmos. A mendicant gives up and let go of these views by truly seeing with right wisdom. So how does he let it go? And like where they arise, where they settle in, and where they operate. So whenever that happens, these ditthis, okay, these views, whenever they appear, whenever they settle in, anuseti, uh, and if you remember, the latent tendency is called anusaya, and also is something to do with this, like this verb anusaya, anuseti. So it's something like that. It settles in. And then samudacharati. Samudacharati means like operate. And when that happens, uh, the mendicant, how does he get rid of it? How does he let it go? And that happens, na etang mama, na etang mama. This is not mine. Na mama, not mine. Na nahi na eso ahang asmi. This I am not this. So that view is not mine, that view is not me, and nameso attati, that view is not myself. Na me so atta. So this is how the mendicant, the practitioner, lets it go. Evang etang yatha bhutang sammapanya passato. Thus, this uh, this view yatha bhutang sammapanya passato, so he has to see it as with the right panya. Sammapanya means right wisdom. Passato, when he sees that, evang ete sang dithinang pahanang hoti, and then these ditthis, the pahanang means declining of these or letting go of these views will happens. So dithinang is chatti vibhatti, of ditthis, of views. Pahanang, leaving or abandoning. So whenever he has these views, he or she, whenever someone has these views, ditthis, and he or she has to think, this is not mine, this is not myself, and I am not this, and this is not myself. This is not mine, this is not mine, and I am not this, and this is not myself. This way, if you apply this theory into any views, and that way he can or she can get rid of these erratic views. Evang ete sandithinam patinisaggo hoti, and that's how he or she can get rid of these views. ඨානංකෝ පනේතං චුන්ද විජ්ජතියං ඉදේකච්චෝ බික්කු විවිච්චේව කාමේහි විවිච්ච අකුසලේහි ධම්මේහි සවිතක්කං සවිචාරං විවේකජං පීතිසුඛං පඨමඥානං උපසම්පජ්ජ විහෙරති. This is so beautiful, and the sutta goes directly to the first jhana over here. Okay, so the Buddha gives Venerable Chunda asked the question right away about the about the taste, and then the Buddha gives the answer also right away. And remember, when the Buddha's having discussion with the monks directly, and he would always avoid all the other unnecessary details, and he would go right into the kind of hitting the nail on the head, and he would go right into the point. And over here we can see that exactly that. So it's really interesting. And then the Buddha goes to the first jhana. Thanang ko pana etang. It is possible here, Chunda. Vijjati means available. Yang idhe kacho bhikkhu. Idha means here in this world. Ekacho bhikkhu, one monk, certain monk. Vivicheva kamehi, away from the sensual pleasures. Vivicha akusalehi, away from the unwholesome states. Um, and akusalehi dhammehi, unwholesome states. Savitakkang. So you can say here vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, and these are the jhanic factors. And he will go to the first jhana right away. So for that, you have to get rid of the karma, and you have to get rid of the unwholesome factors. And that way your mind can be very sublime, pristinely pure, and then you can go to the first jhana. And remember, this also again, it is not complete eradication of the karma. It is said actually there are three levels of like three levels of abandoning the defilement. One is called tadanga, the other is called vikambana, The other is called samucheda. So tadanga is the status or level when you kind of suppress your defilements. For example, if you offer a dana to the Mahasangha, or if you offer something to someone, like you kind of temporarily suppress your greediness, your lobha. That is the unwholesome root. So that's a very, very um, like superficial kind of suppressing, and that can pop up anytime, even during the dana time, offering time, it can happen. But when it comes to the vikambana level, um, this is the jhanic level, and it is much more deeper, much more profound way of getting rid of the defilement, especially the karma and akusala dhammas. And so those unwholesome states will be substantially, avoided or suppressed by the jhanic practitioner when he or she achieves the first jhana. But that again is only so like vikambana level. Um, the third level would be the samucheda. Only the arahanta level, you can see that complete eradication of all sorts of defilement. And over here, savitakkang, vitakka, and sa vitakka, and with vitakka, sa vichara, with vichara, and vivekajang means it's a kind of pleasure, and piti sukhang, uh, it's a viveka means a kind of resting. Okay, piti sukhang, rapture and pleasure. And pathaman jhanang upasampajya viharati viharaya, he will dwell with having obtained the first jhana. Um, So, vitaka is applied thought, and vichara is sustained thought, and piti is the rapture, and sukha is the pleasure. And these are the first five jhanic factors that one might have when he or she is in a situation where he or she has achieved the first jhana. So tassa evam assa, to that person, this kind of a thought can happen. Sallekhena viharami iti. I am abiding in effacement. Sallekhena viharami iti. Nako pana ete chunda ariyasa vinaye sallekha uchanti. But it is not these attainments that are called effacement in the noble one's um, discipline. So Ariyasa Vinaya means Ariya Vinaya, noble discipline. In the noble disciplines, Sallekha is not exactly this. And Ditta Dhamma Sukha Vihara Ete Ariyasa Vinaye Uchanti. So that means Dittha Dhamma means right here, right now. And Sukha Vihara means living with Sukha. So dwelling with pleasant, pleasant abidings. And that is Dittha Dhamma Sukha Vihara. And this is called Arya Vinaya, the Sukha in the Arya Vinaya. Dittha Dhamma Sukha is a very important term, in fact. So, in the Arya Vinaya, we can see like when somebody is in the jhanic stage, already he or she has this piti sukha, savitakkang, savicharang, vivekajang, piti sukhang. That person's mentality, mind is very, very beautiful and very pure, and that person will be so full of peace and happiness. So compared to the worldly mundane peace and happiness, this is much more profound and in depth. We need to see that this one is really, really high. So it is kind of different kind of meaning here when we talk about the okay, when we talk about the uh, noble one's disciple, Vinaya, or Arya Vinaya's Sukha. Okay, that Sukha is different. So, what is actually effacement? Effacement has been defined as that cervix stretches and the gets thinner. Dilation means the cervix opens as. Oh, this is a different kind of um, effacement over here, and so it's uh, okay. I'll get back to that in a minute, and then. ඨානංකෝ පනඒතං චුන්ද විජ්ජතියං ඉදේ කච්චෝ බික්කු විවේක විතක්ක විචාරාණං වූපසමා අජ්ජත්තං සම්පසාදනං චේතසෝ ඒකෝදි භාවං අවිතක්කං අවිචාරං සමාධිජං පීතිසුඛං ဒ ුතියං ඥානං උපසම්පජ්ජ විහෙරිය. Okay, so over here um, the effacement, as I mentioned, effacement, self-effacement or effacement as we mentioned here, it is the process of effacing or eliminating something, right? And here in the second jhana, we see the effacement is happening. And that is something that forces, that press upon or against consciousness. And it is not a simple negation. And the previous one was Savitakkang Savicharang, and in the that is the first jhana that we had um, applied thought and sustained thought. And here in the second jhana, we the practitioner actually get rid of that. Avitakkang avicharang means he or she is without applied thought and without sustained thought. And samadhijang, so we previously we found like vivekajang, and here it is samadhijang. Samadhi is the concentration. Samadhija means born of concentration. So when you don't have the vitakka, it is kind of complicated mentality, and which are also like you want to you have that applying thought, and you have that sustained thought, and that way your mind is like not really very kind of not concentrating, because you have that vitakka, you think of it, and not really very pure in your view. And in the second jhana level, actually you get rid of that vitakka and you get rid of that vichara, and therefore you can easily pay more attention to your samadhi. And that with that samadhi, your piti, your sukha will be there more active in the second jhana level. And therefore tassa evangasa sallekhena viharamiti. So he thinks now, I am abiding in effacement, kind of I'm good, I have kind of avoided the I have kind of avoided um, the defilement. But again, this again is not really complete eradication of the defilement. And again here the Buddha says, dittha dhamma sukha vihara ete aryasa vinaye avuchanti. Pleasant abidings here and now in the noble one's discipline. So in the noble one's discipline, these things can be there. You can see the result right here, right now. um, Okay, so that is the second level. So first jhana we have savitakkang savicharang, vivekajang piti sukhang, patama jhanang. So in that level we have applied thought and sustained thought, and we have viveka, kind of more resting. And in the second level, when you don't have vitaka and vichara, you have more samadhi. And with that samadhi, the piti, the rapture, and the sukha, the comfort or the pleasure, is much more profound. And in the third level, pityacha viraga upekha kocha viharaya. So he has also come out of this piti. Pityacha viraga means he has got rid of that piti. And upekkako means with more equanimity. When you don't have piti, like you are more inclined to upekka or equanimity. And satocha sampajano sukhancha kayena patisangvedi, um, his mindfulness is in full form and fully aware. Sampajano is fully aware. Sukhancha kayena patisangvedi, I mean he will have that pleasure in the body. When you are in the jhanic level, the kind of pleasure that you physically feel is beyond expression. And that is really, really an amazing feeling of happiness that you have when you have this bodily happiness, kaya sukha, when you are in jhanic levels. And especially like when it comes to these different levels of jhana, that intensity is definitely different. So Sukhancha kayena patisangvedaya yang tang arya achikante. So still feeling pleasure with the body, he enters upon and abides in the third jhana, on account of which the noble one announced, he has a pleasant abiding, who has equanimity and is mindful. He might think thus, I am abiding in effacement. Now he lives with upekka and sati. Okay, equanimity and mindfulness is more with that person. And sukha vihara, and then again sukha is happiness or pleasure or rapture. Vihara, he dwells with that. And tatya jhanam upasampajya viharaye, and now he thinks effacement is, I am living with kind of effacement, and I'm abiding in effacement. Nakopane te chunda aryasa vinaya sallekha uchanti. Still not. These are still called pleasant abidings, uh, and this is still not the end of it. So, but yet, dittha dhamma sukha vihara ete aryasa vinaye uchanti. You can feel that pleasant abidings here and now. Dittha dhamma sukha vihara, and that discipline, one can feel it right away in the jhanic levels. And then the fourth jhana. After that, we will have a little discussion. Okay, Tanang kopana etan chunda vijjatiyang idhekacho bhikkhu sukhassa cha pahana dukkhassa cha pahana. Now previously we noticed that one by one those jhanic factors are gone when you are going up ahead in the different jhanic levels. So here in the fourth jhana, you also have sukhassa cha pahana, not even sukha, and dukkha sachapahana, sukha dukkha both will be abandoned. Pubbeva somanasa domanasana. So somanasa means that happy mind. Domanasa means that sad mind. That will also be gone. Athangama, it is gone. And then adukha masukang means no dukkha, no sukha. Adukha masukang. And neither pain, no pleasure. Upekha sati parisuddhing. Again here, upekha is dominant. Upekha sati and mindfulness is dominant. Parisuddhing, that is the kind of purity that one is there when he or she is in the Chatutta Jhana level. Tassa eva masa sallekhena viharamiti nakopana bhante chunda aryasa vinaya sallekha uchanti ditta dhamma sukha viharayate aryasa vinaya uchanti. So I am abiding in self-effacement, he might think, but it is not. Still, it is not. This this achievement is still not enough. Um, So these are called pleasant abidings here and now. This is just another pleasant abiding only, and not the complete eradication of sansaric defilements. Okay. um, are you having any questions so far? Is that okay?
Yes, Banteji, I have one question.
Yeah.
Banteji, you told that Savitak Savichar. It is in Vitak, Savichar is also in second jhana. It is the factor of second jhana. Vichara Piti Sukham Ekaggata in Rupa Vachar Bhumi.
Vitakka and Vichara, they go together actually. If you see in the second jhana, Vitakka, Vichara both are gone.
But we read in Rupa Vachar Bhumi, so we read that there are four factor of jhana state.
Yeah.
Vichar, Piti, Sukh, Ekaggata. They
Hmm.
are four factor exist in second jhana. That I'm confused.
You can see the five jhanic factors, okay?
Yes,
Vitakka,
Bandeji.
Vichara,
Vichara,
and Piti,
Piti,
Sukha,
Sukha,
and Ekagata.
Ekaggata.
Okay, those are the five factors, jhanic factors. And then in the second jhana, we remove Vitakka and Vichara both.
Both.
Yes. Avitakkang avicharang means you get rid of vitakka and vichara. They kind of they are like nama rupa, they go together. Vitakka and vichara,
Okay.
although they are like applied thought and sustained thought.
Strength.
Is that clear to you?
Yes, yes, Bandeji. Okay, thank you, Bandeji.
Yeah, so vitakka is the applied thought, and vichara is the sustained thought. They actually go together. And Piti is the third jhanic factor, Sukha is the fourth, and Upekha is the fifth. And here we can see in the second jhana, Avitakka, Avichara means Vitakka, Vichara both are gone. And then in the third jhana, we can see Pitiyacha Viraga. Piti also is gone. And Upekha Kocha Viharati. So Upekha is there. Okay. Sukha also is there. So Upekha and Sukha, they are there. Piti also, Vitakka, Vichara and Piti are gone when you are in third jhana. And in the fourth jhana, we can see Sukhasa cha pahana, Dukkhasa cha pahana. So that means Sukha Dukkha is also gone. So Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha also is gone. Upekha is the only thing left in Chatutta jhana. Okay?
Bante,
Yes.
Bante, what happened to Ekagata
Ekagata is there.
throughout, or what? No, or which level does it appear in?
You can see like in the first jhana, um, Savitakang, Savicharang, Vivekajam. Okay,
Yeah.
this is actually preliminary level of um, concentration. Like when you are resting, when you are
Mm-hmm.
in taking some rest, you already have some kind of a concentration. But still, because of
Okay.
Vitaka and Vichara, your concentration level is not that strong. But
Mhm.
when it comes to the second level, we can see samadhi is there. Okay,
Right.
that means it is more stronger concentration. And when you get rid of the piti, and even more stronger, uh, uh, like upekha is there, and you can see patisangedi and upekha kocha satima sukha vihariya, so that is still there. um, Concentration can definitely be there in all jhanic levels. Concentration is really very strong. You have to have the jhana vasita. You have to have that jhana. You should be able to uh, you know, give birth to the jhana anytime you want, and then you can get rid of the jhana. You can wake up from the jhana anytime you want, and you can have the jhana as long as you want. And there are some kind of measurements that you are more professionally occupied with the jhana. When it comes to the jhana, that definitely you need the ekagata. So here upekka, and upekka ekagata will be the last one, in fact, um, in the chatutta jhana. So upekka is the equanimity. Is is that clear to you?
I'm just curious why the Ekagata is not mentioned, because like in Bhikkhu Bodhi's book, I can't remember now, but does is mentioned the one pointedness is mentioned at the second level? Am I recalling correctly?
Yeah,
Or
like here
we should just is hmm?
we can see in the first jhana savitakkan savicharang vivekajam,
Yeah.
and in the second jhana we have avitakkan avicharang samadhijam. This is
Mm.
actually the concentration here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
that is
Yeah.
in the second, but in the first jhana also we have viveka. This is
I
also,
see.
as I
Okay.
mentioned, the preliminary stage of
Right.
concentration.
Okay.
If you don't have
Mm.
viveka, you cannot you cannot focus.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then viveka, then samadhi, and then we also get rid of piti. Like it is interesting to know, like piti also can disturb you. You know,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, piti, out of happiness, people some do some weird things too, right? So you really have to
Yes.
get rid of even piti. And upekha
Yes.
is more equanimous stage.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, we can also see even upekha is not really good. uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like all these are wonderful, but in hierarchy they have different levels, different intensities
Mm.
when it comes to. But here you can see upekha, sati, definitely mindfulness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We already have that sati all the time.
Right. Okay.
Sati is there. Mindfulness sampajana, it's already there. Satocha sampajano, right? So that
Mm.
is definitely there.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
I think maybe we can stop here today, and we will go to the next stage in the next week. Is that okay?
Yes,
Because I
Bante.
have to go to the chanting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, over to you, Monica, then.
Right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very much,
Guruji.
Bante. Thank you very much, Bante, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I would now like to invite Bante, please, to share merits and to invoke blessings for all of us, and perhaps especially for India. Thank you, Bante. Sadhu.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today with this really wonderful Sallekha Sutta. And I'm sure the more you learn about these jhanas and these hierarchical spiritual journey, that will definitely help us gain more about that knowledge, which will eventually help us really achieve the jhanas. Yeah, and never undermine the power of the jhana anyway. And with that, I would like to conclude. Thank you everyone for joining us. And yes, we would like to invoke blessings upon all the people who suffer with the COVID-19 new phase. And this is another uh, level of COVID-19, another wave that is disturbing different countries, especially India. We have heard people are suffering. We really want to invoke blessings upon all the Indian people. May they all be well, happy, healthy, and safe. May they recover soon. May the government of India, may the people of India be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. And may our all our prayers, blessings are with you at this difficult time. And stay safe and healthy, all our friends. And also the other countries like Brazil and some other countries are also suffering very badly. And all the other people who are suffering in the world, we would like to invoke blessings upon all of them as well. May our prayers reach all of them. May they all be well, happy, and healthy. May all the noble triple gem, the power of the triple gem, be with them all. May they be well, happy, healthy. May they be able to achieve perfect happiness, and all of us be able to live our life peacefully and happily with good health. May all of us, our family members, your family members, near and dear ones, teachers, friends, and also relatives and the elders and your neighbors and all the near and dear ones be well, happy, and healthy. May all of us and all the sentient beings, including devas, brahmas, and everyone, be able to achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Thinking thus, please keep your palms together close to your heart and say sadhu,
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 sadhu.
Sadhu,
Abhivadana
sadhu,
silitsa nityang vaddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu.